Things really took an unexpected turn in Grey's Anatomy Season 22, Episode 5, as Joe and Link's sweet, and slightly awkward, discussion about baptizing their twins turned into a night neither of them saw coming. The episode kicked off with the couple going back and forth about Joe's surprising decision to talk to Link's mom about the baptism. Link was thrown off, mostly because Joe isn't exactly the Sunday church type. But before they could even get into the heart of that debate, Joe was called back to the hospital to check on a new patient, a strong-willed mother-to-be who wasn't exactly thrilled about being treated by the young Dr. Marcus, whom Joe teasingly calls Doogie Howser. The patient was determined to have an unmedicated vaginal birth even though her baby was breech, setting the stage for a tense but heartfelt storyline that mirrored what Joe herself was dealing with emotionally. Back in her personal life, things weren't going smoothly either. Link couldn't wrap his head around why Joe suddenly cared about religion. Joe explained that even though she doesn't go to church, she still believes in God, and she wants their kids to grow up with a sense of faith and community. And in classic Joe fashion, she added a cheeky line, saying God is like porn, you know it when you see it. It's funny, but also very her way of expressing something deep and undefinable. For Link, though, this conversation struck a nerve. He opened up about something raw from his past, how church groups used to visit the children's cancer ward when he was sick, telling them that God was watching over them. But for him, that felt hollow. He couldn't understand how a loving God could let children suffer, and he's still carrying that wound. In one of the most vulnerable moments of the episode, Link quietly asked, "Where is God?" A line that hit hard because it wasn't just about religion. It was about his pain, his doubt, and everything he's buried for years. Meanwhile, Joe had her own emotional breakthrough with her patient, who finally revealed that her husband had died only 3 months earlier. It helped Joe understand the woman's determination to give birth her way, to take control of something in a life that had suddenly fallen apart. Afterward, Joe came back to Link, both of them emotionally drained but more connected than before. She admitted that when the hospital explosion happened, she prayed for him. And even if Link didn't share her belief, she found comfort in it. Just as it seemed like the episode might end on that quiet note, Grey's Anatomy did what it always does. It hit us with a massive twist. As Joe and Link finally left the hospital, Joe stopped, looked at him, and said, "I think my water just broke." The kicker? She's only 30 weeks pregnant, which means the couple's night just went from complicated to potentially dangerous. It's a perfect Grey's Anatomy cliffhanger. Emotional, heartfelt, and full of tension. What started as a debate about faith and family turned into a moment of crisis that could redefine everything for Joe and Link. What do you think this means for them moving forward? Will Joe's early labor bring them closer together, or push their differences to the breaking point? Drop your thoughts down below. I'd love to know if you're Team Joe's faith or Team Link's skepticism. And if you think this episode was one of the show's most emotional in a while, hit that like button and share your theories about what's next in Season 22.